What's up? It's your boy, amateur pro home chef Nathanael Levinson, come at you with a hot tip. Hot tips, it's a hot tip. Most of us drink coffee in the morning, hopefully not too much in the evening, but the vast majority of people will drink coffee. Now, there are a lot of different ways to prepare coffee. The most classic is, a lot of people have moved towards your Keurigs and your Nespressos, and those are fine. A little on the pricey side for my taste, and the quality coffee is somewhat questionable. So I recommend you grind your own beans, that you get them as fresh as you can, or roast them yourself, which you can do fairly easily. That's another episode. But when it comes to preparation, right, most people think about the pot of coffee. You make a big pot of coffee, it's a drip method, right? The really fancy people who have all the time in the world do a pour over, right? If you're really rich, you get a fancy espresso machine, put it in the Oive Cafe, and then you're doing lattes and cappuccinos and all this and that. But when it comes to an acceptable, like a nice cup of coffee that doesn't take too long to prepare, you can prep a couple cups at a time, I think the best method is a French press. French press is essentially a pot that has a top with a plunger and a strainer on it. So basically what you do is you put the grounds in the pot, you cover it with hot water, near boiling, right? Hot water, you let the coffee steep, and then when you're ready to press the coffee, right, once it's steeped, you just press down and all the grounds go to the bottom, and you're left with this very rich cup of coffee. Now, the grounds that you use for the French press are a little coarser than what you would typically use. So your extraction is going to leave behind more. So the finer you grind your coffee, generally the more bitter components you extract from the coffee. But with the coarse grind, it tends to be a smoother cup. And what's really nice about it is you extract a ton of oil, so French press has a pretty unique mouthfeel. I think the closest would probably be Turkish coffee, because there are a lot of really fine particulate that's in the coffee that the mesh strainer doesn't capture. And I think it's just an excellent cup of coffee, right? It's quick to prepare, it's really tasty, and you can get a single cup French press, or you can get a couple cup French press, so you have one cup ready to go, and then you get your next cup. Now, what you want to look for in a French press, this is an example of what not to look for, right? Obviously, you want the mesh to be very fine, but also you want this gasket to not be preferably you want this to be silicone, right? The more tightly wound, the closer knit the mesh, the more you're going to strain out. And if it's silicone, then nothing's going to kind of pop up the sides as you press. And you always want to press slowly. So this is kind of not what you're looking for. It's fine. It'll make a good cup of coffee. This makes a good cup of coffee. But really what you want is something that has a silicone plunger, because that will trap more of the particulate at the bottom. So that is my preferred method of brewing coffee. I think it's one of the best. And it's really good if you're just brewing coffee for yourself, right? You don't want to make a whole pot of coffee for just yourself. So until next time, I'm your boy, amateur pro home chef Nathanael Levinson, and I recommend the French press.